going to bring in our guest today, our brother Leo Muhammad. Please greet the Galaxy family, my brother.
1 2 1 2 microphone testing 1 2.
Much better.
Wonderful, wonderful to be here. Let me begin properly in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God, whether we say God, whether we say Allah, Jah, Yahweh, whether we say ancestors, irrespective, I bear witness that there is but one force, power in the universe that governs all of us, and I bear witness to all of his messengers. I want to greet all of the wonderful Galaxy listening audience in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the ancient tongue of Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and also to my beloved sister Shanice. Thank you very much, sister, for your kind invitation, and I really look forward to having a conversation with yourself and sharing whatever we are blessed to share this morning with your listeners.
It's an absolute honor and privilege, my brother. It sincerely is, you know. I've watched your works over the decades, been an admirer of the great works that you've been doing from the days of comedy right through to the days of seriousness, you know. And so it's an absolute honor to have you here.
Praise God. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So, you know, I usually open the show by just giving credit to some of our freedom fighters, recognizing them for the works that they did, acknowledging the fact that if it were not for their bravery, if they had not, you know, at the time when they lived, seen that there were the injustices and stood up and decided that they would rather die fighting, we may still have been in shackles and chains until today. You know, our feet would still be in chains, our hands would still be in chains. We might have still had those awful heavy iron instruments around our neck, those awful instruments in our mouth. But you know, we rise up the spirits of those ancestors, those courageous ones who came and saw what needed to be done and did what needed to be done. But you know, now, you know, we're in a time where we have come out of, you know, a really awful period of our history, and we are on the way back up. We are rising again. We have come a long way in the last 500 years, and we still have a long, long way to go. I don't know if you heard the bit where I was talking about the city of Carthage.
Yes,
as
ma'am.
you were coming in. So
yes.
I can only imagine, you know, the beauty of that city and how he was living, and it's incomparable to anything that we see here today. So we know we've got a long, long way to go, but we can't get anywhere without a plan, without a strategy, you know, and I know that you're concerned that sometimes we as a people tend to be reactionary rather than progressive. So let me bring you in there, my brother.
Yes, you know, in the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he teaches us that it's really, really important to understand history. He teaches us that history is best qualified to reward our research. And if we understand, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, a people without knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. And of course, if the tree is not rooted, we're looking at something which is dead. It's a dead tree. And so, you know, sister, when you were going through the history of Carthage, it was very, very important, because again, if our people don't appreciate that everything we know today, mostly everything we know of history, is what we have managed to glean for ourselves, but mostly in terms of our educational processes, we've been taught by the former slave master and his children. And of course, if a man won't treat you right, that same man is not going to turn around and teach you right. So we've been miseducated. And so therefore, as a people, we don't know a great deal about our wonderful, glorious past. And if we knew the reality of our wonderful, glorious past, we would actually find ourselves doing a lot better today. So that's why what you do when you invoke the names of our great ancestors and our great warriors and the great cities that we built historically, that's why that's so important, especially to the youth, because it would give them grounding and allow them to appreciate just who they are.
Yes.
Because we are no different to our ancestors. We are not a different species. We're not now some lesser being. We are the equivalent of those persons who lived historically and did great and wonderful things.
Yes.
And as they did then, we can do now.
All right.
But you can't, again, the Sankofa bird looking backwards while it's moving forward is indicative of that understanding history in order to understand where we are today and in order to project ourselves into a great and glorious future. And so, I would really encourage us as a people to, stop this thing where, sometimes we fall for this hype, this okie doke that says, oh, it's so long ago. Why do you want to go there? We can't live in the past. It's not about living in the past. It's not about some negative looking backwards. But it's if you go into central London or into any of the major cities in this country, everywhere you look, you will see statues and edifices of their history. You will see monuments to their history because they understand, and that's why they will celebrate all year round all of the various things that they've done historically. And we can't afford to allow anyone to sever us from that glorious past, because that's the foundation on which we stand today. So when you are devoid of your foundation, you can't actually build and go upwards. You can't actually make progress. And so this is very, very important for us to reconnect with our past in order for us to really go forward. And then, there's another aspect to us, which is really this knowledge of self, because whether we really appreciate it or not, beloved sister and listeners, we are a people today who are lacking a knowledge of self. This is not by accident. This is by design. We've got to understand that process of enslavement was also a process of dehumanization, where we were destroyed as a human reality. It's actually remarkable when you see what black people are doing in 2017. Because in truth, we are such a magnificent people when you see the type of things that we are doing. Because according to the slave master and his plans, we were not even supposed to be alive today. We're not supposed to be thriving. And, now we're talking about equal rights, and we're talking about influencing this election that's coming up literally tomorrow. And that we actually have the potential to be able to influence these things. The other day, a black man left the White House. Even though he didn't do anything really for black people, that's not the point. The point is that we are still, to some degree, movers and shakers in another man's world, which shows you that even though we were not even supposed to survive, if we can survive and thrive in such hostile environments and still be movers and shakers when all of the forces are against that to happen, that tells you, imagine what we could do if we actually had a proper knowledge of self, if we realized just who we are as a people and began to walk and talk and live according to that understanding, that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding. Because, when I go up and down this country teaching our people, that's what I'm trying to convey. I'm really trying to get our people to appreciate that, stop hero worshiping other people from history and stop looking at others around who you think, oh, wow, look at what this person is doing and what that person is doing, and actually take an introspective look at yourself. Because whatever you see others have done, are doing, and what you think other people may be able to achieve tomorrow, you as an individual, you can do the same and then some. This is the potential of every single listener who's listening to this broadcast. And as a black man, as an African, as a son of the original man, I want to get that point across very, very forcefully, because I'm really tired of seeing us living other than ourselves. You see, I want us to reconnect with our spiritual source, our real power, which is within. It's not external to us. It's not something that we have to go and find somewhere or somebody has to give to us. It's actually within ourselves, and what we have to do is draw it out. You know that word education, which we use a lot? It comes from a Latin root, which to educe, which means to draw out. So education is not about what we cram in. You know, when people are getting ready for their exams and they start doing some cramming, it's really not about that. True and proper education is about drawing out from within yourself that which was placed within yourself from your very inception. Everything that we need actually is already resided within ourselves. We just have to have the skill to be able to mine it out in the same manner in which you were talking about our ancestors being able to mine out that gold, mine out that manganese, mine out the platinum, mine out the diamonds. Well, there's a similar process that we can apply to ourselves in terms of bringing out our innate and also sublime genius.
Wow. You heard it there from our brother Leo Muhammad.
Lock into the power station.
Galaxy Radio 102.5, our Philly station.
Yes, you're in tune to Sister Shanice's show on Galaxy P.O.W.E.R, the only de-brainwashing station, 102.5 on the FM dial. We have our guest in the house, Leo Muhammad. And let me give you the numbers. So should you want to engage in a conversation with us, you will be able to do so. But we're going to allow our brother to speak a bit more before I invite callers. But get your pen and papers ready. Here's the number that you're going to need. The local number that will bring you in live and direct is 0207 193 0174. That's 0207 193 0174. Or should you prefer to send us a text, the text line number is 075 0832 3744. Our brother Leo, you were saying just then about the importance of education. Okay, thank you, caller 607. Yes, if you call back in a short while. You were saying about the importance of education and, what the meaning of it is, to induce, to draw out, and you gave that graphic illustration of how, during our industrial age, how we would draw out, the minerals from the ground. Similarly, we need to be drawing out that greatness out of each and every one of us. Now, we know that's not going to happen through a Eurocentric education system. And, bearing in mind that many of us as a people are still, traumatized from our 500 years of enslavement, have been brainwashed in a Eurocentric education. And, not all of us are actually uncovering, the knowledge of our greatness. How can we as a people, be moving forward in terms of drawing out that greatness, which I agree we absolutely need to do. It's there in our young people. It's for us as adults to be putting in place the strategies and the plans in order to do that, and to have the understanding of how to do that ourselves. Such an important part of the next steps in our growth and development. But what are the steps that you can maybe advise our Galaxy family listeners to be taking right now in order to move us to that next level of getting to understand self and the greatness that lies within, and to be actually drawing out that greatness?
Yes, ma'am. Well, sister, it really starts with programs like this. Our people should be tuning in more to this type of program because it's educational. We need to be going to those black events coming up on the 10th of June, the Family Day. We need to be attending those types of events. We need to be attending meetings of a constructive nature wherever black groups and black organizations gather. I'm Nation of Islam, so I'm going to push that. But I'm saying it's not about some partisan divisional thing here. I'm saying join any black progressive organization. Join anything where our people are coming together and are progressive and are trying to pool resources and come together, because that will be how we begin the dialogue and begin to make progress towards drawing out this knowledge from ourselves.
Great. We've got caller R. You've just gone caller 014. I was about to bring you in there, but you can call back if you want to do so. And yes, and as I always remind our listeners on the show, irrespective of our clan, irrespective of our religion, irrespective of where we're born, irrespective of our shade, from where carbonated people, from we are melanin, we are one people.
That's right.
You know, when those those enslavers came to Africa, they didn't, we were all on the same boat.
They didn't discriminate.
Didn't matter what village you were from, didn't matter what clan you were from or what tribe you were from. They just saw us all as Africans, which we all are, and we were all on the same boat. So first and foremost, we have to remember we are Africans. We can't be fighting down each other because some are Muslim, some are Christian. We can't be fighting down each other because some are Nigerian and some are Biafran. We can't be tearing down our one another because some born yard and some born abroad. We have to recognize that if we as a people are going to make any significant progress, we're going to have to come together as a collective.
One family.
One family.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and it really is about us coming together in relation to the answer to your question, sister. This is something, and I've got to emphasize this. This is something that many people have been talking about for many, many years. It's the talk is of unity, but believe it or not, and I'm going to say it on the station, believe it or not, we talk unity, but we have actually never tried unity. And I'm saying that there's a big difference between talking unity and trying unity. What do I mean? Let's look at, say, a marriage between a man and a woman. You see, because lots of people get married and they think that when they go through the ceremony in the church or in the town hall or wherever they do it, they think that means that man and that woman is now united. And you notice I said man and woman. We won't go any deeper than that. But having said that, many people then take it for granted that we're married now, and somebody goes home and put their foot up and starts getting fat or starts taking it for granted or starts taking liberties or whatever. You see, beloved brothers and sisters, a marriage is something that you have to work at 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it's never ending in terms of trying to bring about a continuous unity between the man and the woman. Even though the Creator made it that the man and woman should be together, unity between a man and a woman is still comes with a difficulty factor. The same principle applies if we as a people are going to unify. It's going to take proper work and proper dedication. Go ahead, sister.
Bringing in caller, Burning Illusion. Greetings, caller.
Hello?
Greetings. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm listening to your point. This is Ade from Africa, Nigeria.
Greetings, Ade.
Yeah, my problem is, what are the African mothers? What are the mothers doing? Putting this in the front. What are the African mothers doing? You, our mother, you brought us to this world from day one. You can't just put the men. Our mothers have to be able to fight. If you don't fight, you are our mothers, no matter what age I am. As long as I'm still alive, my mother is still alive, is still my mother. What are you mothers doing? You bring us to this life. You give us the bath. No man can ever bring us that bath. What are the mothers doing to uplift?
That's an important question there, my brother.
To back home, because you mothers, most of you you change your hairstyle, you shampoo your hair, you creaming, you using bleach. You don't give us a good example. You have to give us a sample, then we follow. You bring us to this world. There's no mothers. We are not going to be no man. So what are the mothers? Mothers should be the first to fight for the children, not the men. The men, we don't know nothing. We think we know, but we don't know nothing. It's you, mother, that bring us to this world. You're going to teach us the right knowledge.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Children.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that.
To us that you are ready for your children. We are your children.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Well, let's deal with your point, brother, because I think it is a very important point. But at the same time, not that I disagree that mothers are the first nurturers, they're the first teachers, they are the one who gives birth to humanity. However, let's be very clear, brother, that the predominant rulers on planet Earth today are not mothers. These are men. And the reason why the planet is in the condition that it's in, it's because of men. It's not because of women. The women are the ones who produce the children. And the women are the ones who have been responsible for that role from time immemorial. However, you know, we can't put all of the responsibility on the women. There are men today who are, if you look at all of the countries in Africa, you may have a couple of deputy presidents who are female, but I don't think you could point to the African nations and say that they've been ruled by women, because that's just not the case. Same thing with Europe.
Because let me tell you one thing, because we neglect the women, we put them as second citizen. If the woman could come out and say, look, I'm bringing you to this world.
Yes.
We're going to listen to us first.
Yes.
Because without mothers.
Yes, you're brother, you're absolutely right. I think it was Gandhi who said that women could stop wars. All they would have to do is say to the men who are going to war, I'm actually not going to be here when you finish, when you come back, and that will be the end of wars, because women have that kind of power. So I understand what you're saying, brother. The women have been shifted to the side. The women are not in a position of decision making, and so therefore there is an imbalance, and women have to retake a place of power. In terms of decision making, in terms of the politics, in terms of the economics.
Because look at England, look at Europe, for example, look at England today. Before even the Prime Minister makes anything, they have to consult to the Queen Mother. As of today, we have a woman control the whole Britain.
Yes.
Before any man can sign any law.
Yes.
All African women can say they are women, they are our mother.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you so much, my brother.
For our war.
Yes.
Yes, sister.
Brother Ade, thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And I really, really appreciate, the way that you are elevating us as women and, rising us up in terms of our role and our responsibility in the family. But we do need our...
One thing. The men cannot fight it alone. The African men cannot fight it alone.
That's right.
Together
right.
To continue the war.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you today, the white people, they use the women for their modeling, for their rubbish, for this their negativity. Because they know the African women, we are beautiful, we are queen. Before even the birth of the so royal family, Africa has always been the queen. And that's why they use our sister to do their rubbish modeling. And I'm saying, so at the same time, the women should bring up the men. So if you work together, we can fight this war.
I love the way you've ended that. Thank you so much for your contribution, my brother. Blessed love.
Yes, have a good day.
You too, my brother Ade. So that was our brother Ade, sort of emphasizing and reminding us of the role of the woman. But, towards the end, he also, reminded us that it takes both the man and the woman. And yes, I absolutely agree. The women do have a very, very important role to play within the family and within, our community to be uplifting us as a people. And we have had some great women throughout our history who have contributed significantly. We've had women out there, at the forefront of our battles, Ya Ashantewa, Queen Nzinga, many of them. So let's bring in caller 561 to contribute to the discussion. Greetings, caller.
My sister, greetings, sister. She's brother Jeff. Straight Black
Greetings,
Pride.
brother Jeff.
How are you, my sister?
Straight Black Pride.
Yeah, I'm brother Leo. Greetings, sir.
Yeah, greetings, my brother. Greetings.
Yeah. Sister, it was so nice to meet you 2 weeks ago, sister. So nice to meet you in the flesh.
Likewise.
And you look like you sound lovely. But I was saying more. Don't get done for harassment. You got witnesses there, so I won't proceed that line because I don't get done for harassment. But not Donald Trump. But yeah, great discussion so far, people. And brother Leo, sir, I've seen you on YouTube, and you're fantastic. You're a brother that I respect greatly. We'd have met face to face. I'm a frequent visitor to the Nation of Islam in Camberwell.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a member, But I know Brother Jeff Muhammad from Croydon, where I used to work, so I'm a frequent visitor there and contributor.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, our great, what can I say, you're a great entity for our people. For decades back, you've given us Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, and Khalid Muhammad, and yourself. Big up to NOI, and a big up to NOI.
Praise God, brother. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just a big up to what the last caller said. I think Brother Adi, his name was?
Adi,
right.
yes, sir.
Yes, Adi. Well, we've got a lot of Adi that called before me. Yes, basically, he's correct, obviously, but we got to come, our people, our men, must do more as well, because we as men have let our people down. Not you, but generally, the men that are not conscious.
Yeah, we all have, brother, to be honest with you. As much as I'm trying to do, brother, I know that I must also do more. None of us are so great as men today that we can rest on our laurels and begin to big ourselves up about how great we've done and what we're doing. We all need to step up to the plate because all of us today what we're doing is woefully inadequate. And going back to what Ade was saying, again, if you go back and study the history of Haiti, for instance, according to the Caucasian, the white man who was fighting the French and the British who was fighting our brothers and sisters down in Haiti, they said that the only thing that was more formidable than the black man who was fighting against them was the black woman. And so she has been at the forefront, brother, of all of our battles, physical battles, mental battles. And so we can't point the finger at her today like she's the weak link, because she certainly isn't that. We've got to come together and we have to fight this battle as a unit. And when we're together, brother, they say that the Twin Towers came down in September the 11th, 2001. The reality is, the Twin Towers really came down around 1555 when Sir John Hawkins came on the ship named Jesus to take black people out of Africa as slaves. That's when the Twin Towers, the black man and the black woman, came down. And we've got to raise those towers back up, because that's when we're going to see a real difference. Brother, there's nothing more powerful than when the black man and the black woman is united. And we have forces right now working to try and keep us divided.
That's right, sir. First, you're right, external forces that are working assiduously. There is still they're insidious.
Absolutely, brother.
Infiltrate like a virus, like a pathogen.
Yes. And you got to understand that they are desperate for their own survival, and they understand what I just said. They understand the power of the unity of the black man and woman. They understand this. They understand the power of a black family. And that's why they are pushing on us this notion of integration as the way that we're going to make progress and, go forward, and we're going to become this mixture of everything, homogenization. No, brother. We've got to understand that our power lies in our unity between the male and the female, the young and the old, and proper community again, where we pool resources and we do for ourselves. If we did that, brother, we could change our reality overnight.
Yeah, you're right. So one point before I go, you're correct 200%, brother, because what it is about yourself, people like yourself, Khalid Muhammad, Dale Jones, these great people that, and Malcolm X, you're the 1%. You are big up because you've done a lot. You're carrying the weight, because you don't get the support you deserve, because our people, you're more, I used to mention before, people join organizations. And you're correct, so it's a numbers game, because we join more people like the NOI, the Cabinet Society, the New Black Party, the P.O.W.E R.
Absolutely.
And bring our money with us, then that's how we progress.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. But at the moment, one of the problems we have is too much small-mindedness. One of the problems we have is that far too many of us think we're literally wanting to lead other people, but we haven't got even a knowledge of self. We're ignorant, but we want to lead people. We want to dictate to people how they should live their lives or whatever. And so you've got lots and lots of shepherds who are unqualified to lead sheep. You see what I mean? And we refuse to line up behind leadership and to promote leadership and to uphold our leaders and to humble ourselves sufficiently whereby we can actually see progress made. We suffer from, I think Sister Shanice said it today already, but we suffer from the crab in the barrel syndrome, where as soon as we see one of our people rising, we want to pull them down. And this is a terrible condition that we have right now.
You're right. So also it's chronic cowardice as well. Chronic cowardice as well.
Yes.
That's all, because when I mentioned this, people get upset with me because I'm telling the truth. Our people generally, not yourself, your master or you, but generally are too cowardly and selfish.
Yes.
And undisciplined. We cannot. Our enemy is disciplined. Folks are united. They're formidable. Not because they're spirit, because they're organised.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely agree with you on that, my brother. So if you can make a final point, and then we'll continue to answer the points that you've raised, my brother Jeff.
Brother Leo, take us, brother, sister.
Take care, brother. Take care, brother.
Black Pride, we will win.
Straight Black Pride.
One love.
Back at ya. So that was our brother Jeff there, and raising some important points there about the need for us to come together in unity, and join forces as organisations as well, And as you were saying, brother Leo Mohammed, we have to stop the small-mindedness, because it's actually keeping us where we are.
Yes.
When we could be moving forward as a people.
Yes, this is the problem. And again, it's not necessarily just a problem that's come via osmosis. It's a problem that's been promoted by an external enemy. And then, of course, because of the miseducation and because we don't quite know who we are as a people, we are suffering from operating from somebody else's mind. I'll elaborate some more in a minute, but I think there's a caller.
Bringing in Bernie Artist. Greetings.
Yeah, good morning, sisters. Yeah, good morning.
Yes, happy rising to you here. So please make your contribution.
Yeah, I've listened to and I've followed the brother for many years, and I think he's a great example. He sets he's a very upstanding brother, and he's a very good orator. But on this occasion, I have to say I profoundly disagreed with some of the sentiments he's put forward. The first sentiment, is also, you concurred with it, that despite the religion, we have to come together. But the fact of the matter is, unless he can prove otherwise, by its nature, religion is divisive, because religion is nothing but an ideology. And being an ideology, you can't claim to be an idea. You can claim to be a man, you can claim to be a woman, you can claim to be a human being, because once you claim those, part of the grand scheme of things. But once you claim to be an idea, by nature you divide yourself. That's the basis of it. Because if I claim to be a Muslim, the idea of the Muslim, then I am not a Christian. And therefore, that is the divisiveness. So to suggest that we all should come together despite our religion, that's impossible.
Okay, could I respond, please, brother?
1 second, let me finish. You can't come on a divisive under something which is tangible and real. And the creation of religion was man's attempt to understand himself. And it's just an idea. It's not real. It's an idea based on allegories, based on mythology, based on sentiments which are not tangible.
Okay, well, let's hear our...
Harakuti says it's all about nationalism.
So let's have our brother respond to that point that you've raised there.
Yes, thank you very much, brother. I do appreciate the point that you're making. And if I could say that, you see, I don't naturally disagree with you in relation to religion being divisive, and that's why in the Nation of Islam we actually don't claim religion, brother, and we don't call ourselves a religion. What we try to do is create a way of life. And the way of life that we promote is righteousness, goodness, morality, uprightness as a people. And we believe that that's the very character of black people. I'm going to confine it to black people right now in terms of who we're talking about. So that's first and foremost. One of the reasons why I can make the statement, let's put aside the religion. See, when you talk about putting aside something, why would you put something aside? It's because the thing you're putting aside is totally and utterly irrelevant. Let me give you an analogy. You have a drunk man. The drunk man is not interested, brother, in whether it's rum, whether it's gin, whether it's methylated spirits. He just wants to put something into his body that's going to make him high, okay, or make him drunk. He's not interested in the label on the bottle. That's how intelligent we have to become as black people today, where we stop putting labels on ourselves which divide us. And so what I'm saying, brother, is that as I'm listening to you, I don't care whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Pan-Africanist nationalist. What I'm interested in is your spirit, is your being, your nature. And what I'm listening to is my brother. Irrespective of the fact that you've disagreed with me, it's irrelevant to me. You still remain my brother. And that's the problem with religion. We, as soon as we disagree on religious lines, then all of a sudden we can't hear what the other person is saying. Well, we want to transcend all of that nonsense and appreciate that we are much bigger than religion, brother. This is not about religion and division. This is about understanding who you are by nature. You are the original man. So whoever that original creator being was, you are directly related to that being. That's the supreme being. That's not like a denomination. And so this is how we want our people to really begin to understand how we're going to get proper unity, by transcending all of these little silly divisional things. Brother, nationalism is childishness, brother, when you really understand the planet that we live on, and that this planet is 196,940,000 square miles in its completeness of land and water, that it's 24,896 miles in its circumference, 7,926 miles in its diameter, and that the whole planet belongs to the black man and woman. That's what we want. We don't want to be confined to some little area over here or some little corner over there. This is the problem that we have. We believe in a nation. We're not even a race. We are a whole nation of people, and we are a nation without borders. But once we allow, by the way, all of the borders that are currently existing in Africa were drawn by Europeans. They weren't drawn by us. We were never those little small-minded people that we've become today. All these divisions, and now we're Catholics, and now we're Protestants, and now we are Sunni Muslims, and now we are Shiite Muslims. You don't find none of that nonsense in the Nation of Islam, brother. And by the way, the Nation of Islam, what does Islam mean? It means peace. Go out into the universe, brother. All you will find is peace. Peace. Tranquility. What is it that every human being on this planet, regardless of what they call themselves, what is it that the human being is seeking? Peace. They are seeking peace, peace of mind, contentment in your home, in your car, wherever you are. That's what we desire. That's what we are craving for. And so we have to understand, brother, that we're talking about something far bigger than mere religion and divisional silly things like nationalism and all of these kind of things. We only talk about these things because that's the confinement that we've been confined to under the rule of the Europeans. But once we can move beyond the realm of their understanding, we can really begin to fly.
Thanks for that very educational response to that question there. Caller, do you have a final point to make before we bring in the next caller, or would you like to listen off air and call back?
I must say, I have to, because I know my brother. He's very very passionate in his delivery. But I'm going to say this, just listening to that, let me explain how I feel.
Okay, if you could keep it brief, please, because we've got another caller on the line as well.
I feel very, very extreme, because I'm a person, I work on a need-to-know basis, and I do a lot of research. I don't know if the brother has not got the information which I have, or the brother he just doesn't want to put it forward. But some of the things existed from the information I have, I don't think is true. I say that, and
Okay, it'll probably take
unity must be formed on the basis of truth. It must come from the basis of total and absolute truth, because you can't build unity on half truths. And that's how I leave it.
Okay, thank you very much for your interjection then, for your contribution. So giving us more to think about, our brother. Right, I'm going to be bringing in caller 426 now. Greetings, caller 426.
Greetings, Sister Shanice.
Greetings, who do we have on the line?
Sister Angie.
Oh, greetings, Sister Angie. How are you?
I'm very well, sis. How are you?
I'm good, my sis. Great to hear your voice.
And lovely to hear you too.
Thank you.
And thank you for the works that you're doing, sister.
Oh, we have to try and do our little bit, you know?
No, we're not trying. We're doing, sis.
Yeah, well, we have to go and do what we can do, yeah. Rise yourself up too, my sis, for the awesome works that you have been doing and continue to do as well in our community here and in the Gambia.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Sister, I wanted to make a contribution because I was just listening to the brother and greetings, brother Leo.
Greetings, my sister. Greetings.
How are you?
I'm very well by the grace of God. Thank you, sister.
Good.
Very well.
Give
yes,
thanks.
ma'am.
Give thanks. I was just listening to the brother, the previous caller's contribution, and I thought I must ring in because when you have an example of something, it's good to share.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking about, you might know as well, Sister Shanice, that I'm part of a Sisters Empowerment Circle.
Yes.
Alongside our sisters from the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason I'm ringing in is because exactly what our brother Leo and also yourself was speaking about in terms of labels, religion, beliefs, all of these things that we have, that we're connected to on this earth. But what I found, it divides us. Yeah, so in terms of the Sisters Empowerment Circle, what we say, I had an idea. I went along to one of the meetings at the mosque, and this meeting was to do with the sisters. So I thought, well, why are there no sisters here? Why are there only men here? And this is about the sisters. So I approached one of the sisters in the mosque and said, look, this is really bad. I'm a bit disappointed that this lecture is to do with us and we're not here. So I thought we need to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come together as sisters. Yeah, that's the basis of it. As sisters.
Yes.
Not as a sister from the nation or a Muslim or a Christian. Let's just come together as sisters. So we formed a group in September last year. We launched it at an event called the P.O.W.E.R of Self-Love. And then from then, October, we've been having monthly sister empowerment circles.
Yes.
And one of the things that I say to the sisters as one of the co-founders is that, and we've had the questions because it's held in the mosque, you might be trying to convert us, or, why do you say God is He, and all those kind of things. And I just say, you know what? These are the things that keeps us enslaved.
Yes.
The labels, the titles, the
Yes.
grades.
Absolutely,
Let's
yes.
remove all of that,
Yep.
and let's go back to the fact that we're just sisters.
Yes.
And we have something in common.
Yes, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with you on that, sis.
Could
Brother Leo, would you like to?
Could I just add something very briefly in relation to, the previous brother on the line, because I think it's important. And again, when these things come up, it's important for us to address them because, again, this is what keeps us from actually coming together in unity. And like I said before, we talk it, but we never ever try it. But in order for you to be unified with your wife or your husband, you actually have to be able to give and take. You actually have to be able to understand that woman that you're now marrying, she's lived a life up to the point where she's hooking up with you. That man has lived a life up to the point where you're hooking up with him. So you can't dictate to the other person that they've now got to throw away all of their belief system, that which is their foundation, in order to just fit in with you. It doesn't work like that. It's about give and take. And I will just say it like this, you know, and I really appreciate your contribution, sister. I'll say it like this. There are three of us in the studio at the present time. Sister Shanice's mum taught her that 1 and 6 is 7. My mum taught me that 4 and 3 is 7. The other sister in the studio, her mum taught her that 5 and 2 is 7. Now, if we are ignorant, we will get into a big argument about whose mum was right. You see? But the reality is that all of our mums were teaching us the same thing. But through ignorance, we think, well, my mum is superior because she said 5 and 2, and my mum is superior. You see, that's all this religious stuff is about. It's pure and utter ignorance. Once we understand that there is only one earth, one sun, one moon, one God, by whatever name we want to call him or her. And when I say him or her, because again, you see, the Godhead within the concept of God is both male and female, yin and yang. You don't have one without the other. The duality is codified in the universal order of things. But, you know, in ignorance, people will want to have a big argument about whether God is male or female. It's just ridiculous, honestly.
Sister Angie, do you want to let us know the date for the next Sister Empowerment Circle? We've got another caller on the line.
Yes, my sister. The next one will be on the 24th. And I just wanted to say also so very quickly, sister, is that we started something. We launched in Birmingham on the 27th of May. Yeah, we launched in Birmingham, and we're now going to leave.
Fantastic, sister.
You know, what I'm trying to say is it's fine to talk.
Yes.
But if you don't put something into action, and because there's a need.
Fantastic.
What we said was our sisters need to be empowered. Yeah, yes. And only us can do that.
Yes.
So we're meeting our sisters where they're at. Yeah, this is what we're saying. It's not about anything. We're saying this is where you're at, and we're prepared to meet you there. But we're doing, and it's moving, sister.
Awesome, awesome.
Very good.
Rise yourself up. Rise yourself, Sister Angie. You know, you saw the need and you stepped in. You know, you saw the gap. You know, and this is what our brother Ade, who called earlier, you know, was kind of calling for as well. He wants to, you know, see the sisters rise up, the mothers rise up and take their rightful role, you know, in a society that tends to promote men over women. So, yes, rise yourself up for the works that you're doing, my sis.
So the next one will be on the 24th of June. But if I could just give out my number and the sisters can call us, because we're going to be having in Catford.
Okay.
I'm going to view the venue by Friday. So my number is 07903 5591 426, and they can give me a call, and then I'll give them the details of where the next one will be, and then we're going to Leeds in July. Now, also, and just to add,
final point, please, sis.
Yeah, just to add one thing, I am not a Muslim, as I've said, quote unquote. However, I know the value of fasting. Yeah?
Yes.
So I am currently fasting. I have been from the 27th of May, and I will be until the end of Ramadan.
Praise God. Well done, sister. Well done.
I know the benefits of it. Not because it's a Muslim thing.
There you go. This
is me detoxing my blood.
Well done. Fantastic.
Yeah? So we clean our house. We MOT.
There you go.
So why can't we do that?
Clean our body as well.
Come on.
I'm putting that out there to show the community that I'm not a Muslim, but I value.
Yes.
I value.
Understand the health benefits.
Well done, sister.
Yes.
So I'm doing it, and how many days now? I think it's 11 days.
We're into the 12th day now. Yes, ma'am.
And how many days is it for in total?
30 days.
30 days fast.
30 days.
Okay.
30 days.
Okay.
So thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, sis. And, you know, do call back again when you've got the full address on maybe next Strong Show. Just to remind the family of the date and the venue of that event. And I'll give your phone number out again as well, should anyone want to contact you about the Sisters Empowerment Circle or, of course, with regards to the Gambia. So
Thank you so much, sister.
rise yourself up. More strength, more power to you, sis.
And well done to Zimbabwe. Awesome.
Thank you, sis.
Awesome, sis.
Blessed love.
Bye-bye, sis.
One love.
Bye.
So that was our awesome sister Angie there, doing some great works in the community, has been doing, for many decades as well. And we rise you up, our sis, You don't have to be traveling down to Leeds. You don't have to be traveling down to Birmingham Strong. You don't have to be up and down, London, organizing women and, pulling together women to be part of this empowerment circle. But you see the need, and you're using the skills and the talents that you have as an organizer to actually make this happen. And we thank you and we rise you up for the works that you're doing, because as Brother Ade says, there are men out there who want to see us as women rise up, and fulfill our role and our purpose here. And it's not just to dress up, fix up, look good and go riv. Our role is to bring out the power. That's and right. Bring out the knowledge and bring out the confidence of our children, to grow our men to be confident, strong, powerful men, to grow our men who are prepared to go out into the world to do what needs to be done. Greetings, sis.
Hello.
Greetings, Sister Wynne.
Hi, greetings and good morning to you and to Brother Leo Mohammed.
Blessed
good morning,
love.
sister. Good morning.
African nation that is privileged to hear this wonderful discourse about liberation that's taking place. And I just ask your permission to make a contribution, if that's possible.
Yes, sis. Please do go ahead.
Yeah. I've listened to all the callers so far. I admit that I've been listening from the top of the show because of circumstances outside of my control. But what I've been listening so far carries a common thread. And it is about the coming together as a nation and working together. Now, we're a very fortunate generation, when you think about it.
Yes, indeed.
When the first foreigners came to the shores of Africa, our ancestors then had no knowledge of their behavior.
Yes.
Of their psychology and the environment that they were coming from.
Absolutely.
But we're very privileged to have had people who took the time to understand environment, i.e. Professor Marimba Arni in the book Urugu. Then we have our late Francis Quest Wesley, who gave us the psychology
Absolutely.
of the people.
Yes.
And then we have still with us Neely Fuller tell us how that psychology is worked out. So basically we have a 360 as to who it is we're dealing with.
Absolutely. And not only that, sister, not only that, but we have you, we have me, we have Sister Shanice, and we have every black person who effectively has grown up in these environments, because we've literally grown up behind enemy lines. So we know them intimately. We know them.
Okay. Now the question we must now ask ourselves, with all that prior knowledge that is in our possession today.
Yes.
Why are we still allowing them to stand on our heads?
Very good question, sister.
Yes.
Because we can't say we didn't know them and we don't know what they do. That you've grown up with them. You went to school. We should by now be positioned to anticipate the next move.
Very good, sister. Very good analysis.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what. And the question, when you've concluded, I will attempt to answer that question, because it's a very, very important question that you're posing.
Okay. Thank you for that. So now that we know what it is that they need to destroy us, we don't give it to them. And we are now on the road to doing that, which is the unification of the black man and the black woman. As I say to people, we misunderstood why Mitchell and Barack was there on the world stage. were looking for a miracle, and the miracle was there. The black man, the black woman with their black children, and we missed it all completely. That's my contribution. Blessed love.
Blessed love, Sister Wynne. Thank you so much for your contribution. We go over to our brother Leo Muhammad, who's joining us in the Galaxy Station 102.5 on the FM dial. We're honored to have you here in the house. You had a question there and quite a few points from our Sister Wynne. And the big question is, why are we still allowing them to stand on our heads? We've lived amongst them. We know now, what our ancestors didn't know of the people who we are amongst and the people who we invited into our lands to live alongside us, who we, built palaces for, built cities for, and allowed, to trade with us, to live with us, to partner with us. And we saw the results of that hospitality. But now we're here, we're enlightened, some of us, we are more knowledgeable about our history and what happens in the past. So why are we continuing to allow the status quo to prevail?
Because, my sister, we have been subject to a system called tricknology. This is a very, very tricky enemy. And our people have not necessarily appreciated that we are being tricked right now as we speak, as we are trying to survive in this environment. And that trickery involves this thing I mentioned earlier, which is called integration.
I'm going to be coming to you, caller.
You see, imagine we were enslaved, destroyed as a human reality for 400 years. And then at the end of that process, and then we had to go through, racial discrimination, and, in America they call it Jim Crow and lynching and all of these different things that we've had to endure. And then at a certain point in time, because we're struggling and we're fighting and we're pushing back all the time against this type of behavior, at a certain point in time the enemy switched and said, okay, we're going to welcome you into our society, into our social integration, and we want you to, we're now all one. And we fell for it, sister. There was a time when we knew clearly who the enemy was, and we weren't about to integrate. We wanted separation. We wanted to do for ourselves. But the reality is that as a result of this integration policy, which so many of our people have fallen for, and because now our people have become wrapped up in the politics, wrapped up in the economics, in the sense that we've got, a little property here or we got a little property there, and we think we're doing well, we have basically negated the masses of our people who are still suffering through this austerity and all the rest of the poor housing and living in bad communities, etc. Because we have integrated, we are not doing for self. We're not thinking about doing for self. We're expecting, God forbid, this election now, Mr. Corbyn. I've got a lot of respect for Mr. Corbyn, but there's a danger there that many of us now are going to think if Corbyn becomes the Prime Minister, we can once again get underneath our duvets and relax, because Corbyn, with the initial JC, is going to be our Jesus Christ.
The Obama effect.
Exactly. But as much as I respect Mr. Corbyn, he is not the savior. He can't save black people. The only person who can save black people is black people. We are the only ones who can do it for ourselves.
No one's going to drop out the sky.
Right.
My parents' generation was waiting for somebody to drop out the sky. Our parents' generation has been waiting, and we've been waiting for thousands of years for someone to drop out the sky and save us. But our history shows us that when we do for self, we have the power and we have the ability and we have the creativity, to visualize what is not and to bring that vision into being. Absolutely. Only we can do for self. Absolutely agree with you on that, my brother.
Yes. And so you have Mrs. May, and if she gets back into power,
which she may,
and let's see if June will end May. But the point is this.
Coming to you, caller.
Beloved family, if she gets back into power, in one sense, like with Mr. Trump in the White House, it's actually the best possible thing that could happen to black people, because she will continue to kick our backsides and will force us to want to do something for ourselves.
And for that reason, I hope she does get in.
Well, there you go.
Bringing in caller 561. Greetings, caller.
my sister, Brother Jackie, I didn't follow this call here. I don't agree, but I just to another short contribution. I've called before, I'll keep it short. Brother Leo, greetings, sir.
Yes,
greetings
sir.
Again.
Greetings.
Just a big point that Brother Paul made and Sister Wynne and Sister Angie. I'm a bit concerned because we talk about divisiveness. If they're male and female, the enemy is not serious as enemy sees as one. Once Super Jack was shot by the police, that police officer didn't see a female, he saw a thing.
Exactly.
Cherry Gross, same with Joy Gardner.
Exactly.
The enemy is not serious as male and female. Enemy is not serious as one. So all this division between like female black empowerment, there's only one empowerment. I'm concerned, that's black empowerment.
Yes, sir.
Male and female together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The enemy is not differentiate. No, neither should we.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely agree with you on that, my brother.
Yeah, just one more long point, sister. I mean, you mentioned point Sister Wynne made about why we to let people raise their heads.
Yeah.
Part of it also is technology. Yeah. Also, another part is cowardice. I still say about cowardice because
cowardism.
Yeah, it is because we don't fight back enough. In the majority of us don't. I don't even feel even mentally, physically, we don't fight back enough because we let them impose themselves. They let them intrude. These people are rude and intrusive. We let them intrude too much in our space. Like, let me give an example. 2 weeks ago, I was at my university. I just finished my master's degree, and there was a work fair in the hallway. There's a white lady there. I described it. You know the singer Lulu? Remember Lulu, the singer from the 70s?
Yes.
Well, she had, and I said, where are you from? Because I'm from Zimbabwe. I said, really? Which part of Europe are you from? She went, originally, I said, she went red because you know what I was making. I said, you're not Zimbabwean, but you're European. You're not Zimbabwean.
Yeah.
And I walked away. I put making a sister, and she put bone on set to my face because back in Africa, Africans not confronted her. She always been saying it all her life because in Africa, no one had the balls to say what I said.
Yes.
She wanted to say to me, this woman, this short European woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, tell me she's Zimbabwean.
Yes.
Outrageous.
There's a huge job of work that needs to be done on the motherland, my brother, because what we have to, be mindful of is that the same indoctrination that was happening to us on the plantation in the Caribbean was happening
in
even
Africa.
more so to our brothers and sisters on the land in Africa, But do you want to make a final point before we bring in the next caller?
Yeah, I made my point. I big up Brother Paul, Wynne, and Angie. All great calls, all great contributions, and bless love again, Brother Lee.
Yeah,
Thank
you,
brother.
We will address your point as well.
You got me. Yeah, Sister Shanice.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Black Pride people.
One love,
Yes,
my
sir.
brother. Straight Black Pride coming back at you. Bringing in caller 945. Greetings, caller.
Hi, my sister.
Ari, who do we have on the phone?
Russ Joseph, Russ Joseph.
Russ Joseph. Greetings. Welcome to the show.
You got the Galaxy family,
Big up yourself too, my brother.
Yeah. I want to the panel, tomorrow is Power Day, Everybody try to get them power if can put them community in order. The Irish, the Scottish, the French, everybody.
Oh, due to the elections. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So we have to not put ourselves, every time the portal will open for power, we give our power to other people.
Yes.
So now we have to use this position, the portal will open to galvanize our power now and bring it and stop, give it to other people and give it to ourselves now, Because tomorrow that the black people have a vote. Who do they vote for?
Mm-hmm.
To understand now, we have to galvanize and find out now where we're going to go. Time to power time, so we have to use this time. And once it finished tomorrow, everything changed. We will grumble again. The boy never vote, we never do nothing for you.
Yes, sir.
That.
I hear you, my brother, but what we have to do also as a people, we have to plan so that, we need to be planning well in advance so that when these days come around, we're actually ready and we know what we're going to do. We can't, be consistently finding ourselves in a situation where, as you say, the portal day is tomorrow and we haven't organized ourselves to, do what needs to be done. We've yet to have that. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Marcus Garvey said, we never fail to plan, we just plan to fail,
Yes.
Plan to fail, we just fail to plan.
Oh, is Marcus Garvey said that? I often use that, yes. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never plan to fail, we just fail to plan.
Oh, we say it the other way around. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we could just hold the power and one know we're going to do with it tomorrow,
Okay, my brother.
For the future generation, for the children,
Yes, sir.
I make them put them vote the wrong way, you know.
Well, I don't know which way you
vote, yeah,
consider the wrong way to be, but we heard our brother Leo say a short while ago that as a people we may be better off if May comes in, because then we will know our back is up against the wall and what time of day it is. What do you say, my brother?
I think it's better off if I rule ourselves, you know.
Yes, true.
Rastafari, we have enough intelligence and knowledge, you know.
True.
Rastafari, so that's it.
Yes, sir.
Irie.
Thank you, brother.
One love. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much for that contribution. Bringing in Brother Bob. Greetings, Brother Bob.
Yes. Good afternoon, Sister Shanice.
Good afternoon.
Mohammed.
Good afternoon, brother.
Yes. I'm going to rise up, Sister is it Angie?
Yes.
Yeah, for taking advantage of the fasting, because what she's doing is purifying herself.
That's right.
Yes.
And cleansing.
Putting herself in a situation where, because fasting is not only take away from food, you know, you have to fast. You have to fast take away yourself from negative thoughts and be good to each other and everything. So
that's right.
The unity thing.
That's right.
So guess what happened now? The other sister now said that they're standing on our heads. But guess what happened? The reason why they're standing on our heads, right, is because basically our heads are non-different from their heads, right? So therefore, we are using us, right? We want to become separate from them, from a higher perspective.
Yes.
Therefore, they cannot stand on our heads. You understand?
Yes.
Therefore, what actually happened in the Quran, right? It talk about shaitan. Shaitan is the one that actually causes all the problems, right? And basically, if we don't purify ourselves from the, from the influence of shaitan, right, which is one of the things, fasting as well. You know, fasting is very important. You know,
yes.
Leo might know that. So therefore, if we get ourselves in a situation, a condition where we are in a more purified state, a more higher consciousness state, the influence of these enemies, as we call them, won't have the effect, because we are going to be, above them in a
beautiful, brother.
In a more conscious state.
Very.
I'm a bit confused, to be honest. I'm a bit confused. Okay, so we're all in this higher conscious kind of state of mind, yeah? You probably heard the piece that I was reading about Bookman Dotty and what they had to do to free themselves, from the bondage that they were in. Okay, otherwise, they probably would have, we would have all been enslaved until today, because that actually sparked not just the Haitian Revolution, but it actually sparked the revolution that happened across the Caribbean, America, across Africa and everywhere. Now, it wasn't a higher level of consciousness that achieved that. That was war, all out war, that actually liberated us in the end.
Yeah, well, a higher level of consciousness is war. You see, when you fight jihad, right, it's war. But guess what happens? They fight it with a high level of consciousness. They fight it with authority.
Okay. We'll have that as one of the tools in the toolbox then. Yeah, we'll have that as one of the tools in the toolbox then that needs to be used.
Let me elaborate a little bit on what brother is saying, because
enlighten me, please.
Brother Leo,
yes, sir.
I know you can do the thing, right? I know you can do the thing, so I'm going to sign off and make you do the thing. Yeah?
Thank you,
brother.
Thank you. Yes, please enlighten me, brother Leo.
Yes, what brother is talking about is very, very profound and very, very important, and it really is something that we need to understand, you see, because now, for instance, if you look at the current situation, if we decided that we're going to go to war with the enemy today in the way in which Bookman and the brothers went to war in Haiti, it's a totally different reality today. We can't pick up enough carnal weapons to be able to challenge this demon with the type of weaponry that he has at his disposal. We can't necessarily defeat him in that way in which it was done in that day. What we can, however, do is we can raise our level of consciousness to the degree where we become so powerful as a people together, because this is what I think I touched this with you the other day, sister, in relation to self-improvement. See, the self-improvement process is critically important to us as a people now. This purifying of ourselves, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of her sins and her plagues." Because as long as we are wrapped up within the world of this of the enemy and the form of slave master and his children, and we're thinking out of his mind, because you got to understand, sister, he is injected his mind into us. You got black people running around now, sister, and we got black skin. We look black on the outside, but sister, we think out of a white mind.
We do.
And so we have to purify ourselves out of this white mind. And believe me, there is no challenge that you or I or any black man or woman will ever face greater than the challenge of overcoming the negativity of self.
Yes.
If we can defeat the Satan within self that has been injected into us, with this mindset, this way of life, this way of death that we've adopted, if we can eliminate that from within ourselves, we become a real powerhouse.
Yes.
We become formidable people who you cannot then deal with us.
Yes.
Not one person, but collectively.
Yes.
And so this is why this, you mentioned the word jihad, and in this current climate.
There's a caller on the
yes,
line.
in this current climate, we don't, that term has been taken out of all context, but it means to go to war with yourself. If you can defeat the negativity of yourself, you become the most formidable power on the planet.
Wow.
That's what he was trying to get across.
Wow. Okay, thank you for that explanation there. Bringing in caller 671. Greetings, caller.
Sister Shanice here. I just have to come back, right? And I don't mean to throw a spanner in the works. I'm just dealing with the sword of truth.
You're welcome to come back, my brother.
So let me put this truth, brother, yeah? This is what I'm talking about, the half-truths. I listened 2 weeks ago, if the brother's familiar, with a radio station, WOL 1450, Washington, D.C. I heard the brother from the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party, come on that radio station, right, and speak to the whole of America. Do you know what he said, sister?
No, what did he say?
The organization which the brother says he's part of, the NOI, Nation of Islam, yeah? The brothers turned around and said that since the death of Khalid Muhammad, that soldier, that real soldier, I'm not talking about the fake talkers and the pretenders, I'm talking about the real soldiers like Khalid Muhammad, yeah, who they allowed to get killed in the hospital, right, because he had a different opinion. The brother come on and said that he was at the brother's bedside, and since the death of Khalid Muhammad, he's been ringing Farrakhan, right, to get his response, and he hasn't returned one call, right? Now this is these people, this is how they behave. Now let me tell you another thing. We got down here Hillary Muhammad, yeah? When that traitor who come on Galaxy talking about Black Lives Matter was exposed, the brother put a video on YouTube saying, how are we to talk against these people, these lesbian and gay people? We should bring them in. Listen, I, for one, I'm telling you straight, my name is Paul. I am not uniting with these people. Trust me, I don't care whether they're black, white, or whatever. I am not united with nobody like that. And I'm putting it out there. We have to talk the truth. Stop bringing these half-truths and pretending and want to be happy families with people who will sell you out. Just like they did 2,000 years, just like 3,000 years ago when they're passing change. What, you think the white man just walked in there and done it? Some of our brothers helped them, right? And they're here today. They're still the same ones here today, pretending they're someone different. Brother, if I'm telling you one word of a lie, let the brother tell me I'm telling one word of a lie. They sold Khalid Muhammad to the devil, right? The brother, just because he taught the truth. What about our brother Malcolm X? What did they do to him, man? They let these people come and kill him just because he had a different.
You know what, my brother? I hear your pain, and I hear.
The reality of the situation.
Yes, it's the reality, but we can't make it stop us do what we have to do. We still have to move forward.
It's not going to stop me, but I'm going to talk the truth.
Yes, we can talk the truth, and the work still have to carry on same way. We will always have those among us.
I'm not going to come with no half truth. We have to talk the truth. So stop pretending and talk the truth. And that is the problem.
And the next thing is
half truth and think we're going to get unity with these half truths. It's not going to work ever.
Yeah. My brother, I hear what you're saying, and what we mustn't do as well is like what they were saying, God, throw out the whole baby with the bathwater. You know, there will be, you know, irrespective of the organization, irrespective of the grouping, irrespective of the family, you know, you will always get, you know, the ones and twos, you know, who may be, you know, operating a little differently and maybe even operating in a way that's going to be more beneficial to the enemy than to us as a movement. But nevertheless, you know, we still have to continue continue to press on and do the works that need to be done. Let's not focus on, those who are trying to maybe pull the rug from under our feet. See what them I do, but we have to learn how to move around them. Our history, shows us that when we do come together, as a formidable force, because remember, the majority of us will come together, even though we have the ones on twos, when the majority of us come together, we can overthrow. We can take control. We can win battles and we can win wars. Of course, right now, the most important battle, one of the most important battles is the battle of the mind, the mental enslavement. There's so many of us that are so confused. Our brother was just talking about, those of us who look like us, but, have been completely, totally indoctrinated with their white mindset. And the majority of us have. But until, we understand ourselves and we're back into that knowledge of self, we're going to have those among us who are confused, those among us who, are traumatized, acting in the most, unforgivable ways. But, the war continues and the fight continues. What say you, my brother?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate what Brother Paul had to say. You notice, like, say, Brother Paul. I can't speak to whatever anybody from the Black Panthers had to say the other day. I don't know that that's actual facts. What I will say is that the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the most beautiful human being that I have ever met. And if it wasn't for that man, I wouldn't have nothing to say to you today. I wouldn't be sitting here. He was the teacher of Brother Khalid Muhammad. And I know for a fact that he loved Brother Khalid dearly. And the fact that Brother Khalid was killed had nothing whatsoever to do with the minister. The minister would have been the last possible thing on the mind of the minister for Khalid to lose his life in the manner in which he did, with this so-called aneurysm or whatever they called it. But the reality is that's what happened. In relation to Malcolm X, again, Malcolm X was in the Nation of Islam for 12 years and did a fantastic, magnificent job in representing black people and became a champion of our people based on the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I have to say that some of us, we love to claim Malcolm as if we really follow Malcolm. But in reality, while Malcolm was walking, those who claim him today wouldn't have been able to walk with him because he was a member of the Nation of Islam, unapologetically, very, very powerful. But we want to claim him now as if, because, he deviated from the nation. So that's why we want to claim him. I got to say, brothers and sisters, that we have to be much more, brother is talking about honesty. And I guess sometimes he's kind of like implying that maybe I'm sitting here today telling lies or half-truths or whatever. I've got to say this to you, brother, with all due respect. We've gone past that day. Okay, I'm not afraid of this devil, this system that I'm trying to fight against, and I've been fighting against up front in their face for over 30 years in this country. And so I can assure you, brother, I'm not afraid of any man or any truth. I love truth. And we're taught in the Nation of Islam to speak the truth, even if that truth be against yourself. And that's what we do. That's why Malcolm was able to tell the world about his past, what he did, how he was, the kind of evil that he did against black women, selling them to white men before he came into the Nation of Islam. That's why if you study my history, you'll see I've told the world what I did, how I was a criminal, how I did this, I did that, whatever. We don't hide nothing, brother. And that type of cowardice, you can't put that stuff on the Nation of Islam and the members of the Nation of Islam, because we just don't do that. If it's the truth, we recognize it to be the truth. But you have opinions and views based on things that you've heard or that you've read in different places or whatever. And brother, with all due respect, you're entitled to those views and those opinions if that's what you hold. But I cannot agree with you in terms of your characterization of truth. That I don't recognize those things that you're saying as truth. Of course, there are truths in what you say, but it's not all truth. That's the point. Okay. And you would have to be on the inside in order to understand the dynamics and the reality of the Nation of Islam and how we operate. And if you claim Khalid as a soldier, always remember that soldier was made in the Nation of Islam. Okay.
Thank you very much for your full and open response to that question there, and those points from our brother Paul. Just going to read some text messages because our text senders are sending in some messages. So the first one is from 161. Greetings, Empress and Honourable Leo Muhammad. Blessed love every time. I subscribe to everything Leo says. He only wants advancement for our family and a return to traditional values of collective security. ISIS, Russ culture. So that was from Russ culture there. We've got another text message here. I'm listening to I want an orphan. Bubu, Abajani, rise up on planet where in iniquity. Sorry, caller, I don't understand your message there. You might want to just rewrite it and come again. Got a next text sender here, 911. I think at times you people talk so much negative talk when there is so much beauty in the world. Two negatives do not make things better. And just think about the death of the people that have died in the bombings. It could have been a black community. So someone concerned there that they think that we're talking about too much negativity when there's so much beauty in the world, and that we should think about those who have died in the bombings because it could have been the black community. Okay, moving on. Caller 911. God forbid unexpected deaths on anyone. Moving on to caller text message sender rather 924. Great show, family, from Raw Elements. Next text message sender 888. Agree with Paul 100%. Haley who you're Jamaican, so don't want to admit Shango live as jail and pirate fodder in Brixton all the time. Not sure I understand that message, but thanks for trying to communicate with us. The text line number is 075 0832 3744. And the local number is 0207 193 0174. We've got 30 minutes left of the show. I want to move the show forward now for us to be talking about strategies. I want us to be talking about solutions. I want to be talking about how we as a community can move ourselves forward from the situation that we find ourselves in. We are a community that's rising. We are a people that's rising. We've actually come, from a really... we come from out of the pit of the devil's camp, to where we are now. We've been through a lot as a people, and we've got so much more to do so that we can continue to rise. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, I think, bring in a little musical interlude to give our listeners a bit of time to, gather their thoughts together on some solutions, because we are rising and we do want to continue to rise as a people. We want to rise here in the UK. We want to rise in Europe. We want to rise in Africa. Wherever we may be as a people, we want to rise. You're in tune to Galaxy Radio on 102.5 on the FM dial. You're listening to Sister Shanice, and we have our guest in the studio, Leo Muhammad, and his beautiful wife sitting alongside him. I am honored to have our brother in the studio, and we've had a very interesting discussion. We've been discussing with the brother since 11 o'clock this morning, and so if you're just tuning in, you've been missing a really interesting debate. Well, we're going to move on the discussion now to be focusing on solutions. It's all too easy to talk about the problems, but what are the solutions? How are we going to move forward as a people? What steps do we need to take? What action plans do we need to be implementing? Solution focused. Hat on, please.
The solution is unity, 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 unity. As a people, we need to come together. If we will come together...
Coming to you, callers.
And if we will do those internal things that we talked about a little bit earlier on, one of them being self-improvement, the basis for community development, if we would stop pointing the finger outwards at other people as the cause of all of our problems and take that introspective look at self, and really do some self-examination, some self-analysis, and some self-correction. And of course, that's not as easy as it sounds for an individual to just do that, which is why, again, we have to come together. You know, we have to form ourselves into groups where we can facilitate that type of process. But all of us have to be sufficiently humble, brothers and sisters, to recognize that we are not where we ought to be. Go ahead, sister.
Bringing in Lady Benz. Greetings, Lady Benz. Greetings. Okay, we've lost our Lady Benz there. If you want to call back, also our other callers, if you want to call back, we'll bring you in so you can interject with our brother before he goes with ideas and suggestions for, solutions. Lady Benz, greetings.
Greetings. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lady Benz.
Sister Shanice.
How you doing?
Good afternoon. Oh, bless.
Oh, awesome.
I was just listening to the brother in the studio.
Yes.
I was waiting for him to finish what he's saying, and he's so right. Bless him.
Thank you, sister.
You're doing a fantastic job. Also, my heart goes out to the people that was injured, the ones in hospitals. That Saturday, we, like the brother was saying, we all need to come together, and life is too short, and we all should just help each other and love one another, and thank the Creator.
Yes, ma'am.
Being on this earth.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And big of course, Dallas, they're doing a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
We support each other, and I just want to thank the Messiah, Jah Rastafari. It's my Health Strong next month, and I'm so glad. I appreciate to see another day.
Well done, sister.
Thank you so much, Lady Benz. Blessed love. And we hope to see you this coming Saturday at the Parents and Ancestors Day event. Why not start celebrating your Earth Strong from then?
Oh, beautiful. That's so fantastic.
Okay, sis.
I'll be there. How do they say it? In spirit.
Oh, we want to see you in body. But okay, Sister Benz, thank you for the call. The time is slipping away, so.
In body as well. Even when I'm at you, man, I'll be there. Even the
wonderful.
I was there, definitely. Even at the match I was there, I'm always around my people.
Wonderful. Thank you. See you at this on Saturday. Blessed love. That's Lady Benz there, endorsing what our brother Leo Muhammad was saying about the importance of our unity. And as you were saying earlier, we talk a lot about unity, but we seem to be finding it so hard to achieve unity during these times.
Well, I mean, you got to listen to what Brother Paul was saying. He's saying, I would never unify with them kind of people, you see? And that's what we do. That's what we do. We identify certain black people as the enemy, and as far as we're concerned, that's it. There will never be any kind of unity with this one or that one, and this is a problem that we have in the black community. We will forgive everybody else, but not any transgressor among our own.
Let's bring in caller 912. Greetings, caller.
Greetings, sis. And greetings to the Galaxy family.
Greetings. Who do we have on the line?
My name is Brother Kwame.
Brother Kwame, welcome.
Yes, my sis. I'd like to say, you see, I think we are already united.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we haven't overcome the mechanism of using our unity properly and powerfully.
I like the sound of that.
Yes. He's right.
So I will give my little 20 pence piece of a contribution towards.
Please do. Our brother Leo Muhammad is already nodding at what you've said so far, and I am too. It's warming to hear those words. Actually, it's encouraging. So yes, please do elaborate.
Okay, what I will elaborate is, you see, sometimes we talk about freedom, but when we always focus on the freedom on the outside alone, it's like our vision becomes blurry. But when we focus on the freedom within us, and then we realize how much self-doubt we really have in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this self-doubt is an energy. So we can simply snap out of it, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And start having a bit of confidence and belief in us,
Mm-hmm.
which in itself is also another form of energy, within us. So we must encourage the freedom within and encourage the confidence within.
Yes,
and
sir.
simply just get that mindset right away.
Pure energy, brother. Pure energy.
There is a saying. They say there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So you know where I'm coming from. Just simply snap out of that mental negative inertia.
There you go.
And just go right at it.
There you go.
Confidence, freedom within, and just feel you can do it, and go ahead and do it.
Thank you, brother. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, powerful message there. Just do it. We have the ability, we have the capability. It's already inside of us. You know, we are already more united than we realize. What say you, Brother Mohammed?
And you know, when you listen to Brother Kwame, you see, again, with a lot of our people, we have this problem where what Brother Kwame just offered was so simple. But believe me, sister, the process is simple. But our people, we say, if it's simple, then we think, oh, it can't be the right solution. You know, we want something that sounds crazy and complicated, and it's got to be all twisted up. And then we say, yeah, man, that deep. You see? No. What Brother Kwame is saying is so simple. Did you know, brothers and sisters, that you have the power of choice? And that we can choose to be positive or negative in how we approach life? But most of us, we actually choose to be negative. And you can change that negativity into a positive. And if you were to change your whole being into a positive being, you would see the whole world around you change. That's how powerful we are, but we don't understand it.
Right, bringing in our brother Nick now. Greetings, brother Nick.
Good afternoon, Sister Shanice.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Leo Hicks-Chester and his wife.
Leo Muhammad, brother. Leo Muhammad. I'm no longer ex-Chester. That was quite a long time ago, brother.
Someone who's known you for a long time.
Yes, sir. I don't know you. Good morning, good afternoon to you, and
good afternoon.
To your wife. I don't know her name.
Good afternoon to you, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Claudia. Sister Claudia.
Claudia, yes, Sister Claudia, yes, man. Greetings, welcome. I'm going to be very quick because I know the time is of the essence. Can I ask you a question, Brother Lee?
Go ahead, brother.
Were you in a film at one time? Were you an actor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I saw you in a film. It was 1992 with Mikey General, I think it was. Were you in that film? I forget the name of it. But anyway, I don't have a problem with the nation.
Yes.
I love all of the nation speakers, Leo, Andrew Muhammad, the investigator, and Hillary Muhammad. I haven't got no problem with the Nation of Islam because one thing, you always speak the truth and the facts about us as a people. And I learned so much from you. And it's the truth. And it's true to life. Yeah?
Praise God. Yes, sir.
But I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
Even if the religion part of it, right, I'm not really in there, right? But I do listen to, I listen to all what you've got to say, all the brothers, all their experience of what they've been through and everything like that, and I try to apply it to myself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. To try and make myself a better person. So you take what you want and you leave what you don't want.
And that's what's important, brother. That's what's important.
Yeah,
if you're applying the principles of truth to your own life, brother, no one can ask any more of you. Okay, and you will be successful if you will just be true to yourself and live according to the universal laws and principles that all of us are governed by, irrespective of what we call ourselves and what labels we want to live under. The reality is that truth is truth, brother. You understand what I'm saying? Not my truth or your truth. There is, in fact, only one truth. And if we can find what that is, and line ourselves up, line our energy up with that truth, brother, you will be a formidable human being on this planet.
Yes, and anywhere you are, right? Anywhere you are, I will come and listen to you. Anywhere you're there. I used to go to the mosque in Brixton. I used to come and listen to you and all the rest of you.
Well, you can find me.
You trip up there.
You can find me this Sunday, brother, at 68 Tottenham Court Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, come out of Goodge Street Station on the Underground, turn right, 3 doors away. 68 Tottenham Court Road. Yeah. And that's Sunday from 11. 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay, and I'm also going to be on the program that Sister Shanice is one of the principal organizers of, which is the Family Day, which is on the 10th of June. So there's lots of places where you'll be able to come and hear what we have to say.
Can I ask you what your subject's going to be?
The subject when? On Sunday?
Yeah, the one you mentioned, yeah.
Yes, the subject on Sunday is how strong is your foundation? My wife had to remind me of the subject. How strong is your foundation? Can we survive? You see, because there's something coming. Europe is going to war, brother. We're building up to war. War is breaking out all over the planet, and there are lots and lots of terrible things unfolding, as you can see what happened the other day on London Bridge and in Borough and other things in Manchester and whatever. And this stuff is not going to diminish. It's going to get worse. And then when those things, let me just complete this, brother. When those things come to a crescendo, people like you and we're going to be targeted. And so the question is, how strong is your foundation? What are you standing on? Can we survive? Because there is going to be an onslaught. Because also, we are, Sister Shanice is saying, we are a rising people. That's 100% correct. But our rise precipitates somebody's fall. Because two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. We cannot rule at the same time that the European former slave masters and their children are ruling. So their world is coming down. Our world is going up. So there's a clash now. And so the question is, how strong is your foundation as a black man, as a black woman? Can we survive?
Survive, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think we can.
Absolutely.
But, the march, I was going to ask you, do you think someone's trying to block us from march? And how safe is it to march this year?
On the 1st of August?
Yes, I've been to all of them. But this year one,
it's going to be very safe, brother. We're going to be marching, brother. We have no fear, brother. We do not project fear ahead of ourselves, brother. We will march. We are righteous people. We are not there trying to intimidate anybody or threaten anybody or bring any nasty, filthy vibes to anybody. We are marching because we have a just cause. We are standing on the moral high ground. Reparations is a must. And so therefore we go out on that basis. And if any enemies desire to do something or whatever, that's on them, brother. But in the end, we will be the winners.
Well, you see, you and Sister Shanice, right? You're two motivational speakers. She's powerful.
Fantastic.
She motivates me to do things. And hearing that from you now, I wasn't too sure, but you know what I mean? It's a good probability now I'm going to be there.
Absolutely, brother. I want to see you there, man. I want you to come up to me.
You remind me of Malcolm a lot,
Yes, sir.
So give thanks. Anyway, you're there, we love the Nation of Islam. We love all of you, yeah?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Sister Shanice, and respect to Sister Claudia.
Thank you, Brother Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you for your listening here. Thank you for your contribution this morning as well. So, we're talking about solutions now. We've talked about the importance of unity. We've talked about the fact that, we need to be brave during these times as well.
That's right.
There's no space or room for cowardice at all. We've talked about the need for women and our role as well in terms of growing up our children to be brave young soldiers, Let's stop, mama cuddling our boys and our children too much and grow them to be, the great warriors that they can be and need to be during these times, so unity is important. We need to put aside our isms and schisms, and we need to be prepared to work together, move together, walk together. I like the contribution from Brother Kwame as well, where he was reminding us, in fact, we already have more in common than we realize. We're already more unified as a people than we realize. And so, as this realization, and it's true, because I tell you, if something happened to African brother A over here, African brother from A, B to Z over there feel it. And we feel it in the same way. And we tend to react in the same way as well. And we know injustice and we see injustice and we feel injustice when it's being heaped upon us. That's why, you know, during the times of the riots, it might have been like it sparked in Brixton, but then, you know, our brothers and sisters in Liverpool felt it. Our brothers and sisters in Toxteth felt it. St. Paul's felt it. All over. So we are linked, not just, you know, in a physical way, but in a spiritual way. And as our brother Kwame was alluding to, we just need to learn how to tap in to that spiritual energy that binds us all together as a people, and that can move us, you know, together in the same direction and with a oneness, as we've seen, for example, through the riots. But we want to do that in a different way. We want to do that through, as Claude Anderson would say, through the works of power economics. Yeah. So in terms of power economics, my brother, there's some moves that are happening now, you know, from various organizations that are working towards us pooling our energy and our finances and our resources together so that we can, you know, become more powerful economically. And for those of us that are traveling to Africa now as well, we are seeing the opportunities that are presenting themselves there. And our brothers and sisters, they would rather that we from the diaspora were the ones that were helping them to set up the businesses and owning the businesses and the organizations and the companies there and doing the mining, etc., rather than the Chinese coming in, rather than the Europeans coming in, rather than the Asians coming in and utilizing all of our resources and exploiting all of our resources for their own self-interest and their gain to the, you know, detriment of our people on the motherland. So in terms of like power economics and how we move forward in that perspective, my brother, what say you?
Yes, ma'am. I've been very blessed in the past to visit that great country of Zimbabwe. And I really would encourage the brothers and sisters to get down there because, you know, again, as Sister said, there is so much, so many links to be made now on the continent with our brothers and sisters. And we need to make these moves now. And we need to be bold in terms of power economics. It's all about having the courage to step out now. There is nothing that you can imagine or envisage within your mind that you cannot manifest into reality. That's the time that we're living in. The time that we're living in, all of the forces of nature have lined up now to make it successful for us. This is there's a dynamic here that's going on in the universe that we need to come to terms with and understand. The opposition that existed 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago, that's no longer there. That's gone. The enemy is now playing bluff. He's a card player. He's making you to think that he's still in power. He's not in power. He's in disarray. He's falling apart. In fact, Mr. Jeremy Corbyn is their last chance. That's their last opportunity to embrace something which is actually civilized. If they fail, you see, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about them. That's their last opportunity to embrace something that's civilized and decent, and that may give them an opportunity to turn this particular part of their world around. But in truth, beloved family, with Trump in the White House and the type of things you see going on in Europe with the rise of the far right and these other neo-Nazi groups all over the planet, their world is finished. It's coming down. It's come to an end. And you got to understand that it's our time now to rise. And so I would really encourage us as a people. We got little groups in this country like the Money Mob, things like this. We should patronize these groups. We should really help them, assist them. WAG, Working Action Group, all of these different groups doing different things. Patronize them, help them, assist them. Because all of it, in the end, is working towards our liberation.
Yes.
We may not agree 100% with exactly how it's been done or said or whatever.
But
that's
see
really
the bigger picture,
there
not
you
the
go.
minute detail.
There you go.
Yes,
see the bigger picture, beloved family, and develop a positive mentality when it comes to your brothers and sisters.
Yes.
You know, this turn the other cheek thing, black people always thought that this meant turning the other cheek to our open enemy. No. This is a big mistake. We are unforgiving when it comes to black people. We have an argument with our biological brother or sister, and that's it. We now talk to them for the rest of our life. We have an argument with our mum or our dad, and that's it. The relationship done. That's got to stop, beloved family. We have to learn how to turn the other cheek to one another, not the enemy, but to one another, because we are not the enemy of one another. We are only different today based on the injection of a white mind. And we have to now get that mind out of us. We have to repair that. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
And that's what we need to do as a people. We need to renew our minds. We need to get our African mindset back.
Come on.
We have been indoctrinated with a European mind for the last 500 years, and prior to that, for 1,400 years with an Arab mind. So we as a people, you know, we've got a huge job of work to be done to find our great minds back, because it was the minds that we had that built those colossal buildings. It was the mind that we had that built those great cities. It was the mind that we had that, you know, discovered how to sail the seas, to build the cities, to build the kingdoms. It was our minds, you know, that invented agriculture, our minds that invented industrialization, our minds, you know, that built civilization. So we need to get our minds back again.
And we're responsible for all of it. And I know sister is saying minds, but in truth, it's mind. It's one mind. And what we have to do, all of us have to rise up into that one.
Tap into that one mind.
One mind. It's a powerful mind. And when that's why, for instance, brothers and sisters, sometimes you can be thinking about a brother, thinking about a sister, and then boom, them turn up.
Yes.
You understand? That's why, that's when you're tuning in now to the one mind. Did you know that once upon a time we used to be able to communicate with one another via telepathy? Listen, let me tell you something. I'm
the
saying
power of our mind. We don't even use a fraction.
There you go.
Of the power of our mind. If we was to begin to understand, yes, you know, how we used to use our mind before.
So I'm saying to Sister Shanice, you know, I hope that this is not going to be the first and only time that she invites me to come and share with you, because I would like to do this on a regular basis with our sister to really try to assist
my brother,
our people, because, you know, brothers and sisters, I'm a student, okay? I'm not a teacher. I'm a student, but I'm just sharing with you
each one teach
some of those things that I'm learning and what I'm studying, and the things that allow me to walk with my head high, my chest high, my shoulders broad, unafraid, don't scratch where I don't itch, and, you know, submit myself to powerful leadership. And I speak of none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, you know, don't let your minds be booby-trapped by propaganda. Check out these things for yourself. We have no excuse today. With the internet today, the enemy is going to be attacking the internet very soon, because it's not about shutting down terrorists and hate speech and whatever. They just want to control all of the avenues of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding coming to the people. So while it's still available, brothers and sisters, use that internet and go in search of the knowledge that you need, because it's all out there. There's a whole heap of foolishness on there as well, but try and skip through the foolishness and go in search of that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding that you need, and that ability to be able to fix, to repair this mind. Because reparations, as Sister alluded to earlier, it's not just about getting a check, getting some money from somebody. Reparation begins with self-repair within. And if we can start that process, beloved brothers and sisters, we will see change coming to us as we go deeper into the 21st century. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you. Thank you, Sister Shanice. It's been a wonderful
so much, Brother
pleasure.
Mohammed. You know, I certainly will be inviting you back, probably sooner than you think.
Yes,
you know, it's been incredible having you here. I've made a note of where you're going to be on Sunday. I'll be reminding our callers, and you know, be giving information about what you're going to be doing over the weekend. And our sister, your beautiful wife, thank you for being here in the studio, and you know, allowing your husband, Brother Mohammed, to come and grace us with his words of wisdom. Thank you, Galaxy family listeners, for tuning in to Galaxy Radio Afiwi, listening to Sister Shanice from 10 through till 1. The next presenter